All right, we are pleased to be joined now by Caston girls basketball coach Josh Douglas. Caston taking on Marquette Catholic here on Saturday at Frankfurt. Actually, Josh is getting ready to take his team out for the walkthrough down in Frankfurt. But Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. First off, let's just talk about this season and everything that you guys have accomplished. First sectional championship since '85, first regional championship in program history. What's it been like for you as a Caston alum and with so many Caston folks on your staff to go through all
Well,
this?
it's been really exciting. Last year we had a really good team and graduated two seniors off that team, and we fell short last year in sectionals. Probably kind of got upset a little bit. I think we were the favorite and fell just short of our goals. But the cool thing was, I returned four off of that team last year, and we had another girl come back out and join us. And Alexa Finke, that was part of that a couple of years ago, came back out her senior year. So that gave me five seniors on this year's team. And then the addition of my daughter and the Thomas girl coming up, we ended up having another really solid team this year. So it's been really exciting. Obviously, we had big goals. We were undefeated for a really long time. And then we kind of stumbled coming in here at the end, losing 2 of 3 actually going into the sectionals. And I think teams were starting to count us out. But now you look back at our 3 losses was, Tri-County, who we got a revenge against in sectionals. And one of the other ones was Bremen, who's also in the semi-state. So, people say, oh, you lost 2 or 3 coming in, but I think we lost 2 or 3 against some really, really good schools too.
I'm curious. Yeah, what was the girls' responses, or what was the girls' response? What was the team's response? Like, did your confidence ever waver? Could you kind of tell that kind of woke them up a little bit?
No, we lost to Carroll on senior night, and that's always been a battle between those two schools. The way it's been. That was a very emotional night, and then we had to get on the bus and go play Bremen, and we probably looked, no offense, as bad as we've looked all year trying to play a game of basketball. You know how that is. Some nights you're just emotionally drained, tired. That's what we looked like. And I just walked in the locker room afterwards, and I said, girls, I really put it on the seniors. I said, tomorrow starts our new season. The old season's over. I said, nothing was hurt tonight. We accomplished everything we wanted to do. We won our tourney. We won our in-season tourneys. We won our conference. I said, everything is still in front of us, but tomorrow on how we show up at practice determines how we go forward. And I wouldn't be shocked when that Friday happened. We had probably the best practice we'd had in 2 months. The loss probably helped. It probably refocused and re-energized them. But like I said, they rebounded that next day in practice. And I mean, it's just been one step forward every practice since then. It's just been truly amazing.
So I watched your regional championship game, and you guys hosted that, right?
We did.
Okay,
we got lucky.
I think you call it the launching pad. Is that they really started calling it the launching pad on the telecast? Is that the name of the gym?
I don't know. I've had different people ask me too. I don't know if that name came in after I graduated or what, but I've heard it referred to that, I guess. I don't know. We'll launch the ball. I mean, a lot. Some games we don't, but I guess so. I don't know where it came from.
Well, here's where I'm going with that. It was kind of elbow to elbow packed, and you had a really good environment. And this has been a nice run. I think Hank had mentioned that this is, your first regional championship in quite some time. And just talk about maybe how the community has kind of rallied around the team. It seemed like such a awesome environment, and it almost seemed like Bethany Christian didn't even fit in the gym, quite honestly. So just talk about that and kind of leading up to it, and how this is not just your basketball team, but maybe the whole community going to semi-state.
Yeah, no, our gym holds, I don't know, 1,700 people roughly. There was a 3A game before us, and the gym was really full then. It was really, really full, which you expect between a 3A game. And, that game gets over, they clear the gym out because, we would be bringing a big crowd in. And by the time our game started, that place was packed. I mean, there wasn't a seat really available anywhere. I mean, I don't know if it was quite 1,700, but it was pushing, I would say, anywhere between 1,500 and 1,600 without a doubt. It was just tremendous. Like I said, having 5 seniors helps. They made a run in softball last year, made it all the way to state finals. And, the community in a small school like this, that's what makes sports in Indiana fun. Especially basketball. Everybody rallies behind them. The family support, from everybody. What's really crazy is to look out and see how many people graduated from Caston that not necessarily live in the area that came back for that game the other night. People I went to school with, family members, just different people, through the last 20 years that went to Caston that haven't experienced that and saw that we had the chance to do something special to come back and support the girls. I think the AD asked me how many text messages I had after the game that night, and I said it was over 120 some text messages and numbers I didn't even realize who they were, and you felt bad. You didn't want to ask, well, who is this? You just respond with thanks for the kind words, or thank you. But no, it's tremendous support from the community, but that's what you love about small schools in the state of Indiana. The community always rallies behind them.
You talked about the 5 seniors, and the 2 obviously that jump out right away are Isabel Scales and Addison Zimpelman, both of whom are putting up 14, 15 a game. What is it about those 2 players that sets them apart?
Their physical strength. They're not overly tall by any means, 5'7", catch them on a good day. But they are so physically strong for guards. People do not realize how strong they are. They're our 2 strongest athletes in school, probably on the girls' side, without a doubt. And they would even contest some of the boys. I always joke that Isabel would make a heck of a middle linebacker on the football team because she's just that strong. But really what sets them apart right now is their attitude. They just refuse to lose. Isabel can go out and get you 20 a game if she wanted to, but like the other night in the Bethany Christian game, she had 10, 6 assists, a couple steals and 12 rebounds. This tournament, she's basically averaging a double-double. She's doing anything she can, to help us win. She's on a season been our leading scorer, and Addison's took over that role in the season or in the tournament run. Now I think she's led us in almost every game in scoring. So it's just 2 seniors that they don't want to take that jersey off for the last time. And when you have that, it's hard to beat a team when you have girls that then step up and follow those 2.
And then your daughter too, Madison Douglas, coming in as a freshman and being your 3rd leading scorer. How has she made that transition? And I'm sure for her and for you too, you've probably been looking forward to this season for a long time.
Yeah, we had some growing pains at the beginning of the year between me and her, but no, I've been really, really proud of her because she's another one that I felt that has really stepped her game up during the tournament here. You never knew how it was going to be for her, and honestly, in the sectional game, championship game against Tri-County, the first half, her first 3 shots, she shot 2 from corner threes, 1 hit the rim, 1 airballed, and then she shot a 3 from straight on and barely clipped the net. It was so short. And of course, that student section was on her like no other, yelling airball. And in the 4th quarter, when we needed her, she came away with 7 points, and she hit a 3, and she said, "Dad, that was the quietest I ever heard that student section that night." And I said, "Well, that's sometimes what you got to do." But that 4th quarter she had against Tri-County, where she scored 7 points and outscored Tri-County, I know because we were trailing by 7 going into the 4th quarter, and we outscored them 12-4, and she had 7 of our 12 in that quarter. She's been playing with a lot of confidence now. And I felt like it really showed in that Bethany Christian game. She never looked rattled out there. She felt like she fit right in, which is a pretty big stage for a freshman, especially in a type of crowd like that.
Well, you talked about the 3 in the 3rd quarter. That was actually, I think, part of a mini 5-0 run, which really put the game really in your favor. I think you extended maybe a lead to 18 at that point in time. So that was a big shot. And you mentioned confidence. That showed on film. Like I did before I knew that she was your daughter. I was like, this is a confident kid. I need to make sure that I ask a question about her. But I'm fascinated as a coach myself. Like how is the balance of, the father-daughter relationship and then the player-coach relationship, and how maybe has your senior class maybe helped with that transition? Because that's a different dynamic for sure.
It is. And I said we struggled there at the beginning of the year because there was times I would yell at her, and I was probably a little bit harder on her. And as I had to remind her, I was just as hard on Zimpelman and Scales when they were freshmen too. She's just a freshman amongst seniors. And she would think sometimes when I was yelling at her, it was Dad yelling at her. And I had to tell her, in the game, it's all coach. You might think it's Dad, but it's not. It's all coach. And then I always told her as we're walking away we get to the weight room, and before we leave, once we hit the pickup, I'm dad again. And I've really, that was some of the advice I've gotten from Coach Stasiak at Winnemac and different people through the area. How to coach your daughter is, once you step out of that school, become dad again. And if she has questions, answer them, but stick to the dad role and leave the coach role at school.
Looking ahead now to Marquette Catholic, what jumps out to you with them? I know they've been kind of rolling through, it seems like, through these first few rounds.
Very athletic, very long. They have a nice point guard, number 4. I don't know all their names yet because I've just started breaking them down really good. Very quick. She plays off 2 feet wonderfully inside. I think she's averaging about 17 and a half a game. She's going to cause some problems for us. She's 5'7". She misses it. She gets back off the ground very quick and goes and gets it and puts it back up. I'd say they're very similar to us defensively. They really like to get after you, and they like to push the ball in tempo when they have the chances. So we got to make sure that we slow them down somehow, or try to slow them down and limit their transition points and make it a half-court game if we can. Take care of the basketball just like in any other type of game.
Josh, if you're willing to share with us, different coaches are going to do it differently when you have 4 teams in semi-state. So you obviously are centering in on Marquette Catholic, but you also have the 2 teams on the other side in the same day. So, what's been your philosophy this week in regards to scouts? Are you focusing just mainly on Marquette Catholic, or are you putting all 3 scouts in? How are you handling practice? What's your philosophy on that?
You got to win the first one to get to the second one. So everything goes in the basket to get past Marquette Catholic first. I have one of my other coaches looking at Clinton Central to get ready for them on the backside in case we win. But all of us coaches are still focused on Marquette. And then I also have a friend that's kind of breaking down some of the Clinton Central stuff on the backside and Union City stuff on the backside in case, we do get past Marquette. But like I said, you got to win the first one to get to the second one. And the nice thing with all the huddle and the video stuff out there, you can get filmed pretty quick now. And a lot of times huddle will have it broke down for you where you can see offensive plays and out of bounds plays and things like that. The one real nice thing about this team I have this year is we can play multiple defenses. So if something isn't working, we can try to switch things up on the fly pretty quick and try to throw teams off that way.
Good stuff. Well, Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, sir. I know you got to get to a practice here, but best of luck to you guys this weekend. And thanks again for joining us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.